So guys, I'm back again, and it's back to my usual Tuesday haunt. I'm at home, I'm doing my paperwork, and I'm doing my Facebook Live. There's also a kitten running around this room, so we might put a kitten on a Facebook Live video in a second. But regardless, today's particular topic is probably a little unusual, and I'm just going to go over one of my own past changes. I was a very unconfident individual. I was not very good at getting around, and one part of my life that I had a lot of difficulty was romantically. I was not very good socially, I was not very confident, I was not very good at talking to those who I found attractive. You might be like, how the hell does this actually matter about getting in the gym? And it's the same thing. A lot of times it's, you need to change something in your personality, but you're often afraid to admit what it is. And it's the same as changing your lifestyle. One of the little things I have a habit of is, some people call it self-blame, but I'll often say, if something's going wrong in my life, that means I, being that component in that life, am doing something wrong. There's a power to that. It means you take ownership, and it means you can change things. I don't like to say things are something else. I like to say, okay, there's some control I have in this situation, and I need to change myself in order to get the situation to work towards me. So what the hell does this have to do with Pierce Brosnan? Well, the simple fact of the matter is, I was terrible at talking to ladies, I was terrible at bringing myself across, I was terrible at being confident, I was terrible at promoting conversation. So I kind of thought to myself one day, it's like, you know what, I need to think about that I am someone else. I need to create myself an avatar. And the best example of a charming, sophisticated gentleman who is confident, but not overly arrogant, that I could come up with was Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. One of my favourite James Bonds. I love GoldenEye. I think it's the best modern Bond movie. It has just the right fit. Oh look, just on cue. Here comes the kitten. Pierce Brosnan, the Thomas Crown Affair. Pierce Brosnan in The Matador, and so on and so forth. And why is he such a powerful character? Well, firstly, he is a man's man. He is quite masculine, and there's no problem with it. He is actually very much equal in how he views people of different genders. He does not disingenuate anyone. He treats them all with respect. People respond well to that respect. James Bond never said he was going to marry any woman. He promised he was going to give them the night of his life. That he delivered on, so he didn't lie. He was an honest man. And that's a very important part of the Pierce Brosnan persona to me. Incredibly honest. Never arrogant. If he says, I could do something unbeknownst to you or beat the crap out of you, it's because he could. And that's not arrogance, that's self-confidence. And I started to imbibe this into how I interacted with people. This might sound stupid, but this helped me. Because often when I was in a situation, my natural inclination would be to say such and such. An example, talking to a girl one day and she's like, oh, I love to bake. The old soft Thomas who didn't know how to interact with people would have said something like, you know what, I like cakes too. Let's make a cake together. And that's just pathetic. What I ended up saying was, if you wanted to impress me, what cake would you make me? Now, that's a worthy response that Pierce Brosnan would give out, because it shows confidence, it shows authority, and it also shows, now you must justify yourself to me. Now, this is probably becoming more of a dating podcast right now, but giving the confidence off and showing that you are willing to go through what you say, being honest, being forthright, is a very important part of interaction. Now, how does this work with your physicality? If you know that your current lifestyle is not working for you and not giving you the physical body you want, maybe you need to think about someone who does. Maybe you need to go to another individual who has that persona and look at what they're doing and how they approach their life. Okay? Because I'm pretty sure no one is sitting at home and thinking, I want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then turning around 5 minutes later, eating a bag of M&Ms and saying, Arnold Schwarzenegger would eat these M&Ms. Because he wouldn't. And you know it. Okay? So maybe you need to start thinking about, if I want to be this person, if I want to be this person who is a little trimmer, who moves well, who takes care of himself, is outgoing, you need to act like that. You need to approach all these different situations, and instead of saying, I couldn't be bothered, or maybe next week, you need to actually take a step back and say, what would Arnold Schwarzenegger do here? What would Pierce Brosnan do in this particular scenario? I don't know who the athlete you're particularly enamored is, or even the celebrity. Because I'm pretty sure if there's a celebrity out there that you like and you want to look like, they're not making the same food choices that you are if you're unhappy with where you're at. That might be a bit harsh, but it is what it is. They've made decisions, they've made compromises, and they've made lifestyle choices that help them get the steps to where they want to be. And that's why sometimes picking an avatar can be a very good one. Even, can't get off me, even if it's a fictional one. You know, we all know James Bond took everything seriously. He treats himself with the utmost respect. He takes care of his body. He takes care of his health. Whilst he enjoys the good things in life, he also balances it. He has a great exercise regime. He keeps in shape, mostly by kicking bad guys' ass, but also does a bit of fencing. That was in either The World Is Not Enough or Die Another Day. I'd have to double check that. It was a horrible fencing scene with Madonna as a fencing coach, but nonetheless, let's not worry about that. But he keeps active. He looks after himself. He makes himself important, but at the same time, he's not selfish. He doesn't just abuse everyone around him. And it's all these combinations of facets that make him such an intriguing and interesting character. Maybe there's a character you can think of that you can model yourself after. Maybe not Oscar the Grouch in a trash can is a good idea. Maybe I'll meet him someday. I'll talk to Oscar the Grouch and I'll ask him if he's a good avatar at some point. It could be a tricky one to pull off, but we'll see. But nonetheless, that is my slightly meandering video podcast thing for today, which has been interrupted by little kitten Hermes. And so there you go. Seriously, who's better to model yourself on than Pierce Brosnan? I mean, the man is incredible. If you want to get better in life, you need to look at Pierce Brosnan, see the way he acts in these movies, and act like Pierce Brosnan. And then you're winning at life. And if you don't like Pierce Brosnan, pick someone else who is winning at life and try to beat him. You'll start winning. Best of luck, guys. We'll try to do something a little more tangible next week. But until then, think about how awesome Pierce Brosnan is.